Welcome back to the Lighting Controls Podcast here at LightFair 2025 down in Las Vegas. Got here Lynn Gomes. Lynn, you just gave an all-day presentation on Sunday about how to write sequence of operations. How did that go?
It was amazing. My students, they were the best. They were engaged, they cared, they wanted to write sequences of operation. We had a great time. We even made a sequence for Obi-Wan Kenobi's private office. Sequences can be fun.
I love that. No, and I think that is one of the things that people don't think about is how helpful and entertaining a sequence can be, like depending on what you're trying to do. Like, if you're trying to do an entertainment space, like the sequence could be, when the fat lady enters, when, like stuff like that.
Oh no, but even in like commercial office spaces, and the owner didn't have sequences, they wanted me to create examples, so I created scenes, and one of those scenes was named Party Mode. No, but think about it. Yeah. That's one of the sequences we talk about is, sequences have to be parametric, right? You have occupied hour sequences and you have unoccupied power sequences, right? And so during the day, your timeout for your aux sensors could be 20 minutes.
Right.
At night, it could be 10 minutes. But here's the thing. Parametric goes beyond just, Monday through Friday,
right?
But it's also holidays. But it's also special events. So special events often get forgotten.
Right.
I was told by a colleague about a sequence that they did. Now, no sequence ever survives contact with reality. You have to know that.
Yes.
So don't feel bad if your sequence, needs adjustment. So for that, what he learned was, we were having a party to celebrate the opening of this building, and all the lights went off because there was a 7 p.m. sweep.
Oh no!
So I learned from him that, hey, we need a party mode.
Right.
I mean, we all need a party mode, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, because what happened there was basically conditional logic that said, go to this mode, go to this setting for the party, but then at a certain period of time, we're going to sweep the lights off regardless of what information we're hearing from other things like motion sensors. And so as a result, the lights shut off. So what you could have done to prevent that from happening is either lock out that sweep from happening by hitting the button, or you could have had some other additional conditional kind of
That's right,
logic.
like a scheduled event, or yes, a party mode button.
Right.
I kind of like the party mode button.
Well, it gives that manual control capability. And I think that's something that a lot of end users really appreciate, is having that ability to say, now I want it, instead of it automatically thinking for them.
Well, and having that interface, who interfaces with it, who can interface with it, I think that's been discussed a lot. One of the presenters talked about that
really?
In the presentation. But I don't remember who it is. I'm sorry.
Okay. Fair
that
enough.
was before lunch.
But yeah, so I mean, having those conversations, figuring out what that end user wants, really helps make sure that sequence of operations is clear.
Oh, absolutely. You could do that in the OPR.
Right.
And I am so excited. So, okay, we got OPRs in the class. OPR is covered in LPA.
Just
different
people who
standard.
Aren't familiar with the initial
Owner's project requirements. Should we say it together?
Owner's
project requirements. All right. I love OPRs. I was a third-party commissioning provider once in a galaxy far, far away, and I wrote OPRs. Right. No OPR survives contact with reality either.
No document survives contact with reality.
Oh my gosh, yes. But that's why you keep doing it. And I do hope people will give themselves a break.
Yes.
Done is perfect. And as long as you have a commitment to improve, I think that, that's good.
And just because somebody said something one day doesn't mean that that's going to be
That's right.
Going forward. So.
What good is a mind if you can't change it?
Yeah, fair enough. So that being the case, I mean, this sounds like it was a really helpful class to get people to start thinking about
going back to OPR,
yeah.
I heard it in your class. your session, and then Charles and Harold and
Lee Brandt.
yes,
Yeah.
they also talked about the
Chain.
importance of an OPR, and I'm just like,
It's finally
hallelujah.
seeping in.
I mean, I'm president of the Building Commissioning Association here, and OPRs are a big thing for us. And commissioning providers, that's one of the strengths that they can provide. And so I've lived and breathed and spoken and written OPRs for years and years. I love that LP8, those original bones, have an OPR. Honestly, the best hands down guidance for an OPR for lighting of any documentation I've ever seen is in LP8. Table 1.
Right. Yeah, IES LP8 you recommend reading if you're unfamiliar with it. But also, you know, within the lighting industry, it's kind of become sort of this like, yeah, I never see an OPR. Like, I never get an OPR.
That's true.
So what do you do when
That's
that
the reality.
happens?
So in our class, what we taught was, you know, we have questions. There are a list of, I think, 8 questions, more than questions that you'll ever be able to ask, but very practical questions.
Sure.
You know, there are folks that think the OPR is the equivalent of the architectural narrative. No, sorry. Architectural narrative is primarily about real estate, space use.
Right.
Right? I claim this area.
Yeah. And
in the name of Spain.
And this is how I like the boundaries of
That's
what
right.
that is. Yeah.
So, but you're not doing that.
Right.
You do have questionnaires that you can ask. You know, what's your hours of business? How do you want the system to work? Do you have what's your maintenance staff like? Do they have the appetite for this? Do they have the appetite for a super sophisticated system? Or do you just have, you know, blow and go maintenance company that is just going to change light bulbs and change filters in your air handlers, and otherwise they're just not on site,
not
right?
going to maintain a complex lighting control system.
And that, exactly. And so that selection, that is going to affect who you choose, and that is going to affect those sequences that equipment is going to be able to do.
Right. So, like, if they don't have the skilled labor to maintain the system, then you can't really provide a system that needs ongoing maintenance. So you need to simplify the capabilities.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Lynn, really appreciate you coming on and wearing your beard because you to your class to teach as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love that.
Wore the costume all day. The lightsaber made a great pointer. When the laser wasn't working, I just
I wish I could have been
the
there.
Force.
I wish I could have been in your class.
You're welcome to stop by anytime.
I know.
Can I give a shout out?
Please.
I want to shout out Rick Miller because I've taught this class with Rick Miller forever. Rick is retired. He is happily retired. He's in Bali right now.
Good for him.
I miss him. I miss doing the class with him.
I'm sure.
It's not the
you've been doing
same
this for a while now.
But I'll tell you what, the students made the class so good. And even if I didn't have Rick, those just really made up for it. I'm really thankful to all those students that I had.
I mean, it sounds like it was an amazing class. So
yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me on the live stream.
Awesome.